Hey, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, right. I popped up on your phone for a reason. Give me 5 or 10 minutes and I'll change your life. How about that? I'm sure you've heard that one before. This morning, me and my wife were sitting on the sofa. We heard a knock at the door at like 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, who is that? Well, unfortunately, we just put our dog down, so I was very, very reluctant on answering the door. Trust me. You live with a pit bull boxer for years. You have no fear, but fortunately, he left us on Saturday. So, back to the story. I look out the door. I see the top of a kid's head. I'm going, what the heck is this? So I turn back around. My wife said, what are you doing? I said, well, it's a kid. What the heck would you want to be doing? She says, answer the door. I'm not answering the door. You answer the door. So she answered the door. And here it was a neighborhood kid who lived a couple doors down. I'm not going to give names or details, but a kid who obviously, no doubt, struggles with behavior. Definitely very difficult upbringing. We've been in the neighborhood quite a long time. We've seen fathers come and go. We've seen one father overdose and die. We see a lot of upsetment, a lot of anger, a lot of difficult things coming from that house. So here he is at our door asking us if he could shovel our sidewalk. And without hesitation at all, me and the wife were absolutely. I was impressed. This young man's probably about 9 years old. And first of all, when has that ever happened? We've been in the neighborhood almost 15 years, over 15 years. I've never had a kid knock on my door to ask to shovel a sidewalk. So that right there in of itself is a miracle to me. That's like Moses parting the Red Sea. That doesn't happen today in this day and age. When I was a kid, it happened all the time. But in this day and age, these kids today, I guess that's the message of the story too, is... So I said, absolutely. He said he wanted to charge us $5. I have a large sidewalk. $5 would be highway robbery, man. So I said, I said to my wife, we're going to give him $20, And I was just really, really, really impressed that this young man is out there at 6:30 in the morning. We got 4 inches of snow on the ground. The temperature can't be maybe around 30 degrees. It's cold. It's cold, and he has one of them old shovels, man, and I'm watching him through the window, and he's going through that snow like a bulldozer. No kidding. I mean, and he didn't do what I would do. I only do the width of the shovel. This kid did the entire concrete block, every single one. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Definitely earned his $20. So the moral of the story, I guess what I'm trying to get to the point now is, he knocks on the door. He's all done. He knocks on the door. I hand him the $20, and I tell him, good job, and I give him a fist bump. And he looks at his hand, and he sees the 20, and I didn't say I gave him any extra, anything like that. And I shut the door, and I watched, and I'm going to tell you what, that kid went from about 4 feet tall to 20 feet tall, man, walking down that street. He's got that $20, and he's holding it in his hand, man, and he is just blown away that I just made $20 in like 25 minutes worth of work. So I watch him out the window. He's going down the street, and I see his grandfather outside because, like I told you, his situation. Grandfather's there. His grandfather's out there shoveling his sidewalk, right? And he's excited, man. He's fired up. I could see him. I can't hear him, but I got to see him, showing the $20. And I could see the expression on grandfather's face. He just turns into this ugly monster, man, and starts yelling at the kid. And you could see the kid was upset now. All the joy, everything that I accomplished, putting all that positivity in that child and building that child up and making that kid feel like $1 million. Like I just did something amazing, and I made probably the most money he's seen in a long time, Probably the most money he's ever earned in his entire life, $20. And his grandfather just completely devastated him. Tore him down, man. I don't know what was said, but he tore him down. You could just see the joy and the pride and all just leave his face, man. He just instant sorrow and sadness. And then he tries to go help Grandpa. Grandpa's still blasting him and laying into him, and Grandpa's kind of pushing him out of the way, not to shovel and stuff. And he goes over to get the blue container, I guess, of rock salt for the ground, and he picked it up, and the lid came off. He didn't know the lid was loose. And that was it. that was it. Grandpa went from zero to insanity, and the kid was just completely disappointed, deflated. He threw the blue container on the ground and dropped the shovel and just went into the house and called it quits. And I felt like, honestly, I felt like going outside and, and saying, "What's wrong with you, Grandpa? What is wrong with you?" Because the grandpa's in a position where he has to, unfortunately, be the father figure in the house because of so much upsetment with every man that's been there. The overdose, and then the one leaving wants nothing to do with him. He's got a little bit of ADHD, and the kid's doing everything negative because he's trying to get somebody to pay attention to him and love him and stuff. And nobody's bothering with this kid. And then, this morning I was thinking about it. I said, "Nah, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not going to share a message with the world." But I feel like I'm burdened in a sense. It's almost like a responsibility, and just these kids that are a mess are your fault. You heard me? If your kid is a mess, look in the mirror, because that kid is a reflection of you. That kid's life is a reflection of your life and how you live and what you do and how you behave and how you react. Now, I'm not saying I'm no perfect angel. I got a lot of things I need to deal with. I got a problem with profanity. I got a problem with anger. I got a problem with a short fuse. But praise be to Jesus. Thank God that I can recognize God is revealing when I go south. Perfect example. When we lost our pup on Saturday, and I made that tough decision, and I shared a message of guilt and bitterness and regret, and I was taking it out on my family. Thank God, thank the Lord that I was able in reflection time, and God revealed to me that, hey, wait a minute, you owe your wife an apology, you owe your son an apology, and especially my son, because I'm realizing what everything that I do, he's going to do. So if I don't want to love another pet, he's never going to love another pet. If I want to hold a grudge, he's going to hold a grudge. If I lose my temper, he's going to lose his temper. I have to teach him, man. These children are blank slates when they're given to us by God, and it's up to us to put all of the good in. The negative's already there. You don't have to put the negative in. Jesus said it, that all wickedness comes from the heart. The heart is desperately wicked above all else. It's already all there. It doesn't need to be encouraged or enhanced in any way. It's our job to raise them on the word and give them the good, and then let them and then be with them, love them, come alongside of them, and walk on their journey. Remember, you're their parents for only a little while. They're on their own individual journey. God has a plan and a purpose for every life that he puts on this planet. And they're your children, but they're not your children. They're his children first, and he's loaning them to you. He's trusting you with that special treasure, right? He's trusting you with that special treasure that he's created. He's chosen you, and he's given you this amazing gift, that child. And it's up to you to do the right thing by that child, and do the right thing for that child, and teach that child the right way they should go. So the problem is a lot of us are lazy. A lot of us are too self-centered and selfish and prideful to take the time to really and really try to teach them. And then, as they get older, they don't, here they are, video games, television, social media, all of these other influences. I mean, there's a million voices speaking to your children. There's a million of them. There's a million voices, and it's a very challenging and difficult time to be raising children, because there's so much available to our children through social media. There's so much negative and so much bad. And my wife, tries to tell me that we need to keep these things away. For most part, I agree, but at the same time, you can't shelter them, you can't hide them. They're going to get it. Whether they're going to get it with you in front of you or behind your back, they're going to learn these things. So I think it's important for us to, they're going to look, they're going to touch, they're going to taste. There's nothing you can do about that. I prefer to be under the supervision, of a parent. So I guess I'm getting a lot off track with this thing, but the main thing is if it is your responsibility as an adult, as a parent, to build that child up, man. Build that child up. Fill that child with love. Fill that child with goodness. Fill that child with wisdom. Fill them with God's word. Fill them with those things, and let God and let God help them navigate. You serve as a comforter, as a friend, as a protector, as a provider. You serve them in that purpose, but God has a special mission for them, and you give them you do your job as a parent and give them everything that they need. Equip them for the journey ahead. Provide for them, protect them, teach them, rise them up. Give them the wisdom, okay? Don't tear them down. Don't beat them up because your life is a mess. Because your life is a mess, you're going to make their lives a mess, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. And then don't sit there and blame the world when your kid winds up being out of control because you weren't there telling them, or you weren't there guiding them, or you weren't there leading them. You know, a lot of you don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. That's the problem with the truth today. The truth is very unpopular, but praise be to Jesus, I think truth is starting to come back in this nation. I can only pray it does. So if you have a child that's out of control, you have a child that's messed up, you have a child, maybe you need to sit down and do some self-examination. Before you take the kid to the counselor, before you take the kid and put the kid on medications, before you listen to the teachers, and before you listen to all these other outside influences telling you, oh, this kid needs this, stop for a minute. Sit down. Have a heart-to-heart with God, man. Dig into God. Especially if you don't have prayer or God's word in your home. That's your biggest problem right there. They have no moral compass. They have no guide. They have no foundation. They have no structure. So whatever they see, whatever they hear, they're going to do. But if you put God's word in, then the good will come out, right? You sow the seed, right? You sow the seed in their heart. So that's the main thing. Give them the wisdom and give them the word. And like I said, if your life is a mess, sit down, talk to God about it, and get yourself straightened out, man. Perfect example. I'm going to leave you with this. Stop worrying about the speck in somebody else's eye. Worry about the speck in your eye first. You get the speck out of your eye, and then God can clean you up, straighten you out, clear your head out, clear your head and heart out, get rid of all of that negativity, all of that pain, and He'll teach you how to teach them. How about that? Thanks for stopping by. You have a great day today, and if you get people or parents struggling with kids out there today, share this message with them. It's that simple. Just share it. You'll be encouraged. God bless. Take care.